Hello, crypto. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm Ali Kane, host of the Weekly Blaze, and oh boy, what a show we've got tonight. Crypto Kindness is back in action. Crypto Kindness was one of the leading lights of the previous bull market, and we're really blessed to have him on the show tonight. We've wanted to have him on for such a long time, and he is here tonight. So another crazy week in the Titanex ecosystem. Can you believe it? Can you keep up with what's going on? You know, we had a little bit of a cool off before October, although the rest of the market seems to have cancelled October. But yeah, you know, a few days of a little bit of sideways action, and wow, Hydra already into day 14. Yeah, you know, still a 10x on the max miners. Flux is launched, brought in 3.2 trillion Titanex. Volt successfully launched 1.4 trillion in the first 3 days. Awesome Axe about to drop a white paper. Accelerate, drowning in white papers. Everything is popping off, and Dragon Axe is leading the way. Will we all follow it? There are a lot of the things we're going to get into on the show tonight, discussing, you know, what our plays are at the minute and what alpha there is within the Titanex ecosystem at the minute. So, without further ado, get all the team up and welcome to the show for the first time, Jeff, Crypto Kindness. How are you, sir, and how have you been? Muted. You're muted, Jeff.
You would think I'd done this before. Super excited to be here, guys. Thank you. Thanks to the Blaze team. Obviously, I know a lot of you through Jake's mastermind, so it's been a pleasure working with you all. Huge shout out to Irish Crypto. He's been nothing but patient with me. I think he sent me a stream invite every week for at least 30 weeks. So thank you, Irish, for being patient, and excited to be here today. Let's have some fun.
My pleasure, Jeff. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what. I think this must be maybe the 30th show, something like that. Steve DeFi, how you doing? It's been a busy week for you. You launched Volt. Was it on Friday? You launched Volt
or Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. It was exciting. It was a load of fun. And like I've been saying, I was more nervous for the Pulse Chain launch. I was shaking when Pulse Chain launched, trying to input my keys. But that launch was as smooth as butter. Contract set 2 p.m. EST, and it's just been great. So the minting phase is on. So go check Volt.win.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are starting to get used to these launches. There was still, imagine how nerve-wracking launching Blaze was at the time, and for me launching Pulse Wars back in March, the mint for Pulse Wars back in March, also nerve-wracking, but it's kind of becoming second nature now. Rainman, how are you getting on this week?
Good, man. Just working the day job and working the crypto job. You know, so happy to see Volt went really smooth, and Flux and Dragon and Titanex ecosystem is just popping off as usual. So happy to have Crypto Kindness on here, the return. You know, so you know, we're really excited that you came on, man. So we appreciate it.
Well, yeah, I know. It's like watching all your streams back before, you know, at the start of Titanex when we're all watching Zen and Jack, all the Jack. I remember having it up on the big screen. You, Crypto Profeta, Jack Levin, I can't even remember who else, but it was a full panel, and I think there was like 4,000 or 5,000 people watching. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. It was cool, man. I mean, you learn a lot. That's the most important thing, is just learning. And, you know, not all lessons end with financial gain, but all lessons end with more intelligence, and eventually that leads to financial gain. So, you know, count the lessons, not the losses.
Yeah. That was something you probably had to say to yourself a lot along the way. Yeah.
I said that in the mirror. It's like, gosh darn it, you're good enough. Yes, indeed.
Irish Crypto, Pat, how you keeping?
Everything very good. Well, yeah, very good. Thanks, Ali. Similar to Rayman, working the day job, working the crypto job. Feels like the last week has been like a year, but it's been great. Obviously, we've had successful Flux launch. You know, Inferno's had a bit of a cool-off period, but we're working that hard, which is good. And just pleased to say that the GoatX white paper is finalized and the devs start tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I want some inside deets.
Well, we'll see what we can do later. The last thing I'll say is I was listening to the Verse. I love his streams. I love that guy's streams.
Yeah.
And he was getting me very bullish about what's coming up, especially
He is
that.
a super bull for sure.
Yeah, and
No
I
doubt.
love listening to him. But hey, it's Tuesday, the 1st of October, the start of October. Or Uptober. So yeah, super pumped.
Nice.
Yes,
All right,
indeed.
we'll crack into it. We quick fire one to start off. Just want to ask you. We'll go around the room. You know, what's the most exciting thing that's happened in your neck of the Titan X ecosystem this week, Steve?
Well, you can't beat launching a new project, a protocol which is smooth. I really like it. So it's pretty easy this week to share. Yeah, it's the Vault launch. Go check it out. Yeah.
You've had a great participation already, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been really great. Massive participation. The socials are buzzing. There's a good vibe. Got into CoinGecko today. That was a massive
nice.
celebration.
Yeah.
They picked us up, so I'm really happy about that.
And Jeff, what about yourself, sir?
Coming back, you know, I did a kickoff stream, I guess yesterday with Jake. That was a ton of fun. It did open Pandora's box, which is what I kind of expected. I got like 36 DMs. Hey, can we stream? Can we stream? Can we stream? And I immediately was like, oh no, this again. But I've got some pretty hardcore boundaries I'm going to be sticking to. And unfortunately, that's going to mean saying no to a lot of people, but it is what it is. I've got to do it for myself and my family. But then the crypto side of things, I've just been killing it in LPs and compounding LPs for free Hydra and Hypermint. So it's just like, it's so much fun.
Yeah, awesome. Rayman, what about you?
And, you know, just basically I'm learning a lot about LPing, but the most exciting thing was definitely the Vault launch for me this week, because I'm building Lotus on top of Vault, which is built on, you know, top of Titan X. So I'm getting ready to release the white paper on the 8th. It's all in production, going to testnet this week, and the launch will be on the 28th, you know, but yeah, that's all I'll say about that. There's some great things, but we'll share those another day, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the chat tonight. I don't know if the community are having as much trouble as I am keeping up with all the white papers, and I get sent a lot of them to have a read up before they get launched, and it's like, you know, there's just so much to try and keep up with. Pat, Irish Crypto, how are you getting on? What's been exciting you this week?
Two things. Firstly, finally stamping the GoatX white paper and stopping tinkering with it. So that was good. So yeah, we've got devs starting tomorrow, as I said. The other thing, which I know we're going to get into a bit later, was just hearing Jake and Crypto Kindness yesterday. And I mean, Jake was going into phase, what was it, 7, 8, and 9? I mean, come on. I mean, that Jake is getting his eye in. So when Jake's bullish, I get bullish.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched the stream yet. I've looked forward to catching up on that one tomorrow.
Just an hour. It's very good.
Yeah, so for me as well, we ran through a rapid. So and we're launching Awesome X on Dragon X this Friday.
Wait! You say we? You're part of that?
Yes, I am indeed. Yeah.
Well, can I give you a little bit more of bullish information?
Yes, please, sir.
I'm streaming with Crypto Awesome on Thursday.
Sweet. And then we'll actually be on. So yeah, me and Bad Sports are both involved in that project as well. So we've got 125 mint, you know, the mint cycles run for forever, but the initial 125, we were running through our final, dev checks today. We ran through 125 mint cycles in about 2 hours. So the buttons were getting clicked, but you know, I've been testing that, and I've been testing Pulse Wars over on Pulse Chain all week. And finally, things that I've been working very hard on, it's nice to say that everything works as planned. So when you go through all these things, it's hard to tie them all together, you know, just so for me, it's just not even all the stuff going on within the ecosystem. It's just getting to a point where Awesome X is fully tested. Everything works. The front end's looking beautiful. So yeah, I'm just glad it's out of the way and we can kind of look forward. A bit like yourself, Steve, we're kind of well organized before it launches. And hopefully there's no panic stations come on Friday and we can just let the thing fly. But I'm really excited to be building on Dragon X. You know, we've been building a lot, the Blaze Inferno ecosystem. We have a lot of our own plans, but it's nice for me to branch out a little wider out into the Titan X ecosystem. So yeah.
More projects and more projects every day. Yeah, that is true.
Just on that, Jeff, because this has been discussed a few times in a few different streams. What's your take on? Is there, you know, can there be too many, or you know, is there too much going on? Is it liquidity getting circled around? What's your take on that question?
Well, I can only answer the question from my perspective, and I like simple. So one of the mistakes that I made early in crypto is that I chased everything. And I am always brought back to the words of wisdom that were given to me by a Genesis Ethereum whale, who's a friend of mine, actually got me into the Pulse launch or sacrifice. And he said, if I had to do it over again, I never would have participated in anything because ETH was the golden goose. And every new project was the next 10,000x. Every new project was going to be the biggest thing in crypto, and it all required ETH. And then you gave your ETH away, and you didn't have any more ETH, and ETH is what ultimately won. So I recognize that there's a huge place for it, and the way that Jake has designed Titan X and some of the secondary protocols, Dragon X having things built on it, Hyper having things built on it. It all boosts the ecosystem, no doubt. I love it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to participate in all of it. I will be the biggest cheerleader. I will talk about them. I will stream about them. I'll answer questions for people that are genuinely curious. But for me, I like simplicity. That way I sleep better at night. I don't have to worry about, ETH way and catching, oh, shoot, did I forget about a miner? Did I forget about this or yada, et cetera? So, yes, there can be too much. There's no doubt about that. Not everything is going to be good. No doubt about that. I see the need for it, and I definitely understand that a lot of people like to play those games, and that's fantastic. So you just got to figure out what's best for you. Do you want to play games, and do you want to try the leverage play and build a bigger bag, or do you want to just sit back on autopilot and let time do its thing? That's a question you have to ask.
Yeah, I mean that's a great take on it, you know. But I do think that there's room for many projects because,
of course,
you know, that just obviously the bad ones are ones that aren't as successful. They'll fall to the wayside. But it's exciting for everybody in the ecosystem to constantly have all the. And it would kind of be different if some of the stuff that's getting built wasn't so good. You know, it's like so much innovation.
Right.
We were on with Rags to Riches last night. And just talking about fair launches, and you know, we've already seen 3 or 4 variations of ways that a fair launch can be done, and it's not even being done anywhere else. It's just all happening here in the Titan X ecosystem. So we'll lead into a little bit of a reflection. So we're all here, you know, we're all members of or OGs from Jake's Mastermind back. Jesus, it would be coming up to 2.5, 3 years ago, maybe. But what's the biggest surprise, Jeff, from when you entered into the mastermind and what you entered that into that for, to kind of where we have ended up from being a part of that, watching Jake launch Titan X? What's the biggest kind of surprise that you would never have thought you would see when you entered into the mastermind?
I'm looking at it right now, streaming with 4 dudes talking about 5 different protocols that had absolutely nothing to do with the mastermind. But what's so cool about that, and one of the things that I've reflected upon a lot lately is just the things that I've learned over the last year and a half. And one of which I know Jake has talked about a lot is the book Reality Transurfing. And what's really cool, I've read that now like 5 times. Straight up, I will tell anybody that book has changed my life for the positive. And what's really cool to observe is that Jake has held to those lessons as well. So he hasn't, fought against everything and like, we're in this mastermind for Pulse and we're going to make this work no matter what. You fight the universe, you lose. He's just gone with the flow. Okay, go with the flow. Time to go with the flow. And it also kind of ties in a little bit to the question you just asked. Like, can there be too many protocols? Is there too much happening? Well, there's a lot of that is actually needed, because where we are today is just a combination of the best parts of several different protocols: PulseX, Zen, Hex. It's basically just a baby amongst all of them to create the best protocol. So you need the continuous launching of protocols and ideas to ultimately spin up the best one. So there's absolutely need for more and more and more innovation, because it just breeds better innovation. And that's where we are today. We're here, all of us streaming, because of continuous innovation that happened within Jake's mastermind. And Jake's mastermind's been freaking awesome. Like, I loved it. I got in for one reason, and 2 years later, that reason isn't even discussed or mentioned, or other than every now and then it's like, oh, do you remember when we did that? But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, because for me, it's just really fun.
Yeah, there's a few things that we've been told not to speak about. The team, don't bring up such and such. Don't bring this up. So, yeah, Steve, anything that surprised you from where we started off in the mastermind to where we are now?
It's seemingly abundantly above what I could ever imagine. I mean, exactly. I never thought I would be launching a project, have launched a project, launched a few projects with you guys. And wow, what a ride it has been since we've just been talking with Jake for months and months, minting Zen at the same time as we're talking Titan X, and then now we're here. So,
Rain Man.
I would love to hear Irish's. Oh, I'm sorry. You said Rain Man. I thought you said yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean,
let me done talking.
The mastermind was great, and it still is. And there's so many telegrams and there's so much information out there to really focus on building, what you're working on. You kind of have to limit yourself, and like you said, with with this family or whatever it may be in life, you got to hone in, and then you can come back out and expand. In my opinion, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is focusing on really hard, making Lotus like the best of everything that I have to give to the community. And so that's really my main goal right now. And but it wouldn't, none of this would have happened. I could never imagine like we'd be sitting here right now based off of the mastermind calls with Jake that we started so long ago. And I just think it's fantastic, and it's a really unique opportunity to be in the right place at the right time, and to build on Titan X, like a layer one, really on top of a layer one, and without the need of a blockchain in essence. And I say that, understanding that we're obviously on Ethereum, but I think we all know what we mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Irish, what about you, sir?
Oh, similar. I mean, I can't believe I'm building, to be honest. That's definitely something that I didn't see coming. I have been reflecting on it, though. I think one of the things that isn't talked about a lot is how much I think the mastermind is giving so much strength to the ecosystem. So what I mean is, we'll all remember how much suspicion, jealousy, and FUD on steroids was being perpetuated around, us being in the inner circle, getting so much, sort of insider knowledge and all this kind of stuff. But actually, as it's played through, so many people from the mastermind have come out and become builders and leaders of the ecosystem. So, Eric obviously being, an example, and then us being another example. So I just wonder whether, hopefully in a couple of years, a year, 2, 4 years time, we look back at the success of the Titan X ecosystem, whether we'll look at that mastermind as maybe the sort of real platform and true genesis of the whole ecosystem.
Yeah,
that's a very wise way to put it.
Nice take, Pat. Yeah, I mean, we had, the Sunday calls that we had in the mastermind. I always had a lot of fun on them. At that time we were all learning a lot. Yeah, but there was real ups and downs, like there always is with everything in crypto. Nothing's ever a nice straight ride. But yeah, we did always on the calls have a lot of fun, and yeah, it's kind of crazy to see where we have where we've all come to. So before we kind of get into some tokenomics talk, just You know, the bear market, Jeff, was long and rough and tough. Was there any particular one thing that was kind of a low point in the bear market that you were glad to see the back of?
I find great humor in the fact that you said, "Is there only one?" Was there one a day? Was there like, no, I had the ultimate, just, I can't believe I just did that. Puke in my mouth. Like it was the and scene, computer's done, I'm gone for 6 months moment. And I don't want to say it because it'll sound bad towards the protocol, but it is what it is. I allowed myself to FOMO into GIF at the top. And I watched $8,000 turn into $300 in about a month. And I was like, well, that was basically what I deserved because I know better.
Yeah, isn't it kind of crazy that, you know, even after all this time, we are smart, we know, we've got experience, and you can still do things like that. You know, it can still happen. Maybe, hopefully, maybe now you've learned enough lessons. We've all learned enough lessons, but it's just, you know, it is very, very easy to just, you know, it's very easy to let it happen.
Yeah, I will say, so it's kind of interesting. So with one wallet, I made 10 grand on GIF, and with the other wallet, I lost 8. So ultimately, I kind of came out on top, but it was just the fact that I did that. I was like, I just did that. For crying out loud, if I learned nothing over the last 3 months. But I will tell you a story. This may not be popular amongst the listeners because it involves me selling Inferno, excuse me. But when I was making that poor decision of GIF, I was going back and forth with a guy that I only usually hear from when things are pumping. And he's like, oh, yeah, GIF to the moon, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, I just bought a bag and I'm an idiot.
What was it?
I'm not going to say anything about that. But so anyway, this same guy sends me like out of nowhere, like, oh, my God, Inferno's pumping on Sunday. This was like Sunday, but it was at its all-time high. And I was like, and sell. So I sold the top. Sorry, guys. I will be buying back in now that it's hit the 786.
It's a free market, man.
That was another thing that I've learned is that guess what? Fibonacci retracement freaking works like a charm.
Nice, Steve.
We're not mad.
Anything in particular you can think back on that was like a low point in the bear?
I actually had a decent bear market because I bought Hex, and at the bottom, I went in Hex at the bottom, so it kind of spurred me on. The worst thing for me in the bear, honestly, that Vampex mint. Yeah, and I think about it, that was my worst. That's my worst move I ever made in crypto, minting for Vampex. Yeah, that was a low point in my crypto life.
There was so many things. Actually, it was the Vampex. It wasn't the Vampex. Was that on Ethereum?
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
There was Bitcoin. There was, I mean, Jesus, DBZen. There was, God, give me a break.
Because the thing is, it's not like I just participated. I really believed in it, so I went in heavy. That was the thing. It was a bad allocation, and it was a good lesson.
Do you remember the one? It was the Bitcoin one. The Bitcoin one. I had created my one of I don't even remember. It was just you had to create a Bitcoin wallet and try to get in. And when we were all minting this, I can't even remember the name of it. We created the most expensive Bitcoin block ever created, and my transaction failed. I paid the gas, the transaction failed, and I didn't even get any coins.
And just to pour some salt in that wound, if you had just waited an hour, you could have minted it all for like $5. It was so stupid.
Oh, crazy times.
Yeah, I want to hear from Irish. I think he's being quiet on purpose. He's like, I don't want to tell him myself.
I mean, you know, there's a right old pick and mix, isn't there? Do you know what? Richard Hart going through that Berkey twerking phase really did my goat. I just really struggled with that. And then, of course, afterwards, the SEC news, you know, having quite a big position in Pulse Chain, just watching that sort of drop, that was quite annoying. And yeah, I think from the Vampex piece, Jack Levin and all his moves, you know, from Vampex onwards were quite frustrating as well. But having said that, the bear was good for building positions that look pretty nice now.
Couldn't agree more. I got PTGC like a week after it started. And basically at this point, I need to do nothing and I'll probably hit my number because of that.
I remember you talking about that whenever it was doing its kind of first run up.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning it. So yeah, well played there, Jeff. Well played.
Well played.
That one has already paid for all the other stupid I've done, which is hard to do.
You got to rebalance all that stuff sometimes, to make up and readjust. I've done that many times, I believe.
Yes.
I think the Titan X low was, I felt like at one point there was only 10 people left.
5 of them are right here.
Yeah, so glad I stuck around there.
Yeah, there was a few hurry moments.
Yeah,
even in Titan X, there was a few hurry moments.
Friendships had started capitulating all around me, and I was like, no, it's going to work. I believe. Staying strong. Go away.
Okay, so a little bit of tokenomics talk. Jake put a post out last week, kind of asking what people's favorite tokenomics were from within the Titan X ecosystem. Tons of innovation happening, great ideas, and people are coming up with ideas, and when they work, the other builders are kind of taking them and running with them and innovating even further. So it's just a hotbed of crazy tokenomics going on at the minute. And I was blown away by the variety of replies in the comments. Just a simple, what's your favorite tokenomic in the Titan X ecosystem? And the crazy array of replies. But yeah, looking at all the stuff that's been built so far, Jeff, is there anything that stands out to you as real good innovation and good tokenomics within the Titan X ecosystem at the minute?
Well, it's honestly hard to beat Dragon X. I mean, what Eric and Jake have built for that is pretty impressive. I mean, it's simple. Mint with Titan X, that was it. Cap supply. But then all of a sudden you just get all these buy and burns popping up out of nowhere. You got Hydra coming in. You've got Awesome X building on top of it. You've got like just about every protocol at this point is tying liquidity pools and burns to Dragon X. So the tokenomics of what started out to be very simple have just gotten better and better and better. That's going to be tough to beat.
Great point, because that started off such a simple thing.
So
really
simple.
Did. Yeah.
And sometimes simple is good. I mean, actually, oftentimes simple is good. I really like what Steve has done with Volt. Basically buying and then reselling Volt over and over and over again. You're just like, what a great thing to do. Like you buy it off the market, then you resell it. You're just selling it over and over again to feed the buy and burn. I'm very curious to see how that pans out. I mean, those are the two that kind of stand out in front of me. There's a lot. I love Hydra. I love Hyper. I see how it all works together, but just for straight simplicity and pumpamental tokenomics, Dragon X and Volt are like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, good shout. Steve, I always remember in the mastermind calls, whenever the weekly discussions about Titan X, you were in your element discussing the tokenomics.
Yeah.
To the point where I had to hit the mute button sometimes. But yeah, you must be absolutely loving all the stuff going on at the minute. Yeah.
Oh man, absolutely. I really like the tokenomics talks, and every time I get to chat to Jake, even one-on-one or in a group, I learn something about tokenomics or bouncing idea off him triggers something. I'm like, whoa. And that's really the seed of Volt, was from chats with Jake. That's how it progressed into what it is. But yeah, what was the question? Oh yeah, by the way, my mum has become a Titan X almost maxi. She's watching all the streams. She's an OG. She's in her 70s.
Awesome.
She said to me, she's watching this stream, I bet it. She said to me, oh, that Jake, founder of Titan X, he's such a lovely young man. She's a big Jake Sharp fan, I tell you. So yeah, man, it's
she's gonna be making it rain at bingo.
Hello, Steve's mom, if you're watching, thanks for being here. We all love your son. He's doing a great job. He's made it.
Don't buy the tops. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's great to hear.
Yeah,
Ari,
Rayman, what are your
what about you?
thoughts?
You've got your Goat Axe coming. You've got Goat Axe coming out. What's the tokenomics talk for you?
Me or Rayman? Sorry.
Go ahead, Pat.
Irish, yeah.
Okay.
Just because
Yeah,
you're dropping
look,
the Goat Axe white paper in the next few days. So yeah, what's the tokenomics talk for yourself?
So yeah, I mean, look, meme-inspired, hyper-deflationary capped coins. So clearly, Inferno has given a certain proof point in the market. Awesome X is coming very soon, I think this weekend. Goat X, more details to come. I know Alien X is in the pipe, and I know there are others as well that have reached out and revealed that they're working on these kind of things. So I'm quite interested to see how that's all going to play out as the meme-fi kind of sector for Titan X. What I'm hoping is it's quite accessible, obviously, with the meme sort of front and the narrative that can come out of that, is that it can sort of act as a spear for when that moment, that retail starts to come in, that we can sort of drag a lot more adoption and users into the Titan X ecosystem. So I'm quite interested in that. That's why I'm playing there. I'll also say I've started to play around with Hydra this week, parking some of my LP fees into there, a bit of my profit into Hydra. I did play around with Hyper as a compound machine when it first came out. Then obviously the price dumped and it was a stealth launch, and it just sort of missed my attention span. But Hydra, I'm looking at the moment. The fact that it's tied into Dragon X, it's looking good. So I'm, Hydra as well is something that I'm paying quite a close attention to at the moment.
Nice one, Rain Man.
Yeah, it's a hard question.
Yeah, there's so much. Really, yeah.
Because there's so many smart people building, and I think the goal is this hyper deflationary, objective, and it's working, and it's clearly working. I really like what Steve's doing with Volt, with buying the own supply again through the buy and burn. It's like really extremely innovative. I love the meme-fi thing with Inferno that was kind of developed with a meme token with utility with this massive buy and burn. I do like Dragon X. I can say that there'll be some Lotus that'll be sent to the Vault from Dragon X. I'll reveal that as well. Just a little taste of that, but there's a lot out there, and I think in time that as we move forward and all of them become hyper deflationary and Titan X becomes prohibitive to mine, it's going to look good on everybody's in wallets, hopefully. And that's not financial advice or predictions of any kind by any means. But when things start to disappear and people need them to get in, when milk goes up, you got to have the money to buy it. So. I think the ecosystem is on a cusp of something very interesting right now.
Yeah, Jeff, what do you think about it's said all the time, you don't have enough Titan X? Do you think that's a true statement?
Very much so. Like what Rayman just said, everybody's building houses, but Titan X is the lumber, and it's coming up on short supply real quick. And, it's easy to sit back and in this kind. I love the question, Ali, is, what tokenomics do we love the most in the ecosystem? That question, however, never would have been asked had Titan X been not created. And so the best tokenomics are Titan X because it's what led to everything else. And the fact that Jake had the vision of building on top of it and incentivizing builders and creating the flywheels, like ultimately Titan X has the best tokenomics because it inspired all of this. So
yeah, that's a nice take. In fairness, I've been asking this question to a lot of people over the last, in spaces and on streams, and nobody's actually said that yet.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't exist without Titan X. And basically, to the question you asked earlier, all of this innovation that's coming is bred from Titan X. Like, oh, that was a great idea. How do we make it better? That was a great idea. How do we make it better? So it's the great idea, and now people are improving upon it. But specifically about surrounding Titan X, there isn't enough Titan X. Listen, I like simplicity. My game is very simply, I'm going to hold on to my Titan X because supply and demand. If the market demands Titan X to have for building of games or exiting, whatever have you, then the price is going to go up. I'm going to hold the lumber. And yeah, that's part of it. I am going to have a very small bag where I participate in everything, because you never know which one's going to be the next Dragon X, and there'll be another one. So, but very, very small bits of my lumber are going to go towards everything else. Otherwise, it's going to stay in the core holdings. But Ellie, you've been asking all the questions. I'd love to hear your thoughts on, the tokenomics in the ecosystem, as well as, is there enough Titan X?
And well, absolutely not enough Titan X. Whenever we get through this next month or two, there's such a massive array of things going on that, like you say, you've got to pick and choose. I don't like to go into absolutely everything. I'm maybe like yourself. Just maybe buy a little bag of a little nibble. But I cannot have too many things to look after going on in my mind. So I do like to just keep nibbling away, stacking more Titan X, and then if something like nibbling away at Dragon X, nibbling away Inferno while it's dipping, the core coins. But my favorite tokenomics within are the cap supplies. Cap supply. Now, not only because what's making Titan X exciting is that it's going hyper deflationary. It isn't a coin that can inflate, but the fact that it's going hyper deflationary and there's no more supply is what is making everything exciting. It's making everybody want to build. It's making everybody not panic just yet, but everybody wanting to get more Titan X, because they can just see it. It's just that the supply is going to start disappearing. But the fact that there's such good protocols getting built, because everybody's getting held to a very, very high standard. People are going back and they're speaking, like even Steve's saying there. Steve's, a wizard when it comes to tokenomics, but he still goes back every time and has conversations with people of how can we improve it? How can we make it better? And, there's all the builders are batting these ideas off each other. And that's for me, that's kind of what's making the whole thing, work so well at the minute. And once the cap supply is my favorite thing, like Inferno and Dragon X. Once that supply is capped and you can see other things that can come in to start helping eat away at the supply, that's what I like looking at. And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing, how these certain things play
out. Quick bullish observation. Today, a 280-day miner of Titan X costs 2.26 ETH and only delivers 474 million Titan X. So wow. The tokenomics of Titan X are amazing, because I've had a lot of people say, well, what happens when the price of Titan X goes up and then we get the next mining frenzy and then there's too much supply? Ain't going to happen, because the amount of ETH that has to come in order for there to be such an abundance of Titan X, it will be able to buy all of the Titan X that it produces times 3. So, and the other thing that's cool about that is it's going to be 280 days away. As the price comes into profitability for Titan X, it starts far out. So 280 days. As the price goes up, then you get into 8 months, 7 months, 6 months. But there's going to be like this. If you've ever seen two waves come together, they create a secondary jumbo wave. A rogue wave is what they call that. And there's going to be a rogue wave moment with Titan X when it meets like an equilibrium where it's like short-term miners 3 months are profitable and people are just pouring ETH into it. And that ETH is burning so much Titan. It's ridiculous. And that's when you're going to see euphoria. And it's happening. I mean, you can see it in the numbers already. There just isn't enough Titan X to create a glut of supply in the future. So no, there's not enough Titan X.
There is not enough Titan X to go around. Nice.
Irish.
That's being said a lot lately. And that's for sure. Go ahead, Alex. Sorry.
Yeah, go. Jeff, you're going to ask Irish something there, will you?
Yeah, he's quiet like that.
It's because you can't see his face.
I know that whatever it's called, avatar is just freaking me out. Like I feel like he's just thinking.
Sorry, it's the wrong one as well. But anyway, how you doing, Jeff? I do agree. There isn't enough Titan X. However, I'm loving the choice that's coming through in the ecosystem. I really am. So my personal play is just to have a certain allocation of my stack that I'm gonna play with in some of the protocols that are coming through, and obviously some of the ones that are already live. Some of the other underrated protocols like Blaze and Flux as well, income generators on top of potential MemeFi opportunities, and then obviously the blue chips too, right? So what's going to be the next blue chip? And the name of the game, as you say, is who's going to protect their stack and who's going to play it to ratio up to get a larger stack, right? So it's a big game out there to play.
Yeah, you see Jake's in the comments. They're saying people are underestimating what hyper deflationary means. I mean, I probably am. It's probably gonna happen and take everybody by surprise of just how deflationary it can get, especially with so much going on. So she says, give me a quick heads up. What's phase 7, 8, 9? That's not a joke. I'm asking seriously.
Phase 7, 8, 9 is buy whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I don't know. It's not 5%. We're talking. I believe that. It's just. So the other thing that people just aren't talking about right now, and it was discussed quite a bit when Jake and I first streamed about this and early on, but it doesn't even take into account. No one's talking about the fact that all the LP fees are burned also. And anybody that's playing the LP game right now recognizes how much that actually can be in Titan X and Dragon X and all of the other ETH. Like, I mean, Irish, you mentioned you're playing a lot of LP games. Like, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, especially on big bags. And the entire LP for Titan X is locked and burned. Like, that's crazy. That's happening in the background. There's no like BNB V2 or V3. It's just every day it's getting burned. That's not insignificant.
And there's a Telegram now too, Titans of LP, Johnny Papa Vegas and Z3. It's fantastic to help people how to earn extra income off liquidity providing. So
yeah, that's Titans of LP, and I'm interviewing Johnny tomorrow. I'm really excited because I love liquidity. So
smart. Yeah. I just got into that thanks to an invite that was sent our way. It's fun. It's cool. I will be the guy that says right here, public service announcement. If you don't know what you're doing, tread lightly, because you can get absolutely turbo wrecked in LP if you don't know what you're doing. So seek out maybe this group or something like this. Do some research. There's plenty of information on YouTube, but I just had somebody send me a text the other day. They're like, yeah, dude, I just did my first LP with 20 grand. I'm like, what? Why? What ranges do you pick? Based on what information? Like, you can't just do that. I mean, I guess you can, and you'll learn a lesson.
I wonder how he got on.
With any luck at all, he picked the right side and everything went up, and it's all well and fine. That's what I hope for. So,
Steve, you have a show tomorrow, do you?
Yeah, it's inside Titan X, and I'm just interviewing people and tokenomics to learn more stuff, and community members to get more intelligent, because I just want to squeeze them for all the information and get more intelligent through that. So that's the aim of the game. Inside Titan X.
That's a kind of underestimated thing that's happening. The community's buzzing, obviously, and just even looking in the comments, Bad Sports building, Smooth and Crypto streaming, Crypto Awesome launching a project, Johnny Papa Vegas. And Johnny Papa Vegas, there was a group of them that tried to help us with the MEV bot, and those guys worked round the clock to try and help as well. We've been doing everything that we could to try and curb the attacks, and community members were stepping up and working. These motherfuckers were working round the clock to try, just to try and help, just community members. But there's so many people stepping up. Chiz has been popping up on the spaces every week. Revo started a big Titan X beginners stream or spaces as well. But it's wonderful to see so many people that have talent and good minds that are working to help the community, stepping up. And you're doing a good job there, Steve, as well, by getting these guys, pulling these guys out and getting them on your show.
Yeah, it's really fun. And with Chiz too, he's a wealth of knowledge in DeFi. He's been in for years. And me and Justin do a show with him on Saturday night, Unity in DeFi. It's all about Titan X, DeFi, tokenomics, crypto. Join us Saturday evenings. That reminds me. That reminds me. I'm doing a Titan X Supernova stream. Maybe this Saturday. I got one person on so far. It's Ali.
Is that it?
Yeah, I need to do some more.
He told me it was a super stream with loads of guests.
That's
muted or something. Steve hit unmute on your mic, dude.
Yeah, he's just got dodgy signal. He's having a great time talking to himself there anyway.
Oh, it will be big. It's going to be big. When I get excited, I press this button so often. But yeah, so yeah, it's going to be big. Hopefully this Saturday, Titan X Supernova. It's Justin, tell us about it.
Well, we're just trying to get folks on. If anybody wants to come on, it's awesome having like community members on that don't have their own channels and to hear their perspectives and that's kind of, and then we've had other streamers on too to help get this channel going and just all kinds of ideas. But it's really been fun. We had Chiz on, we had some other people on and coming in and going, and we're just trying to do a long stream to bring awareness, right? I mean, that's what we're trying to do, and just get like Mike Dean popped in on the day of Steve's launch last week, and he was on there for a while, and that was super cool. We ended up talking about security forever, on there and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, join us.
Looks like you've got Jake says, bring me on the Supernova string, Smooth and Crypto, Chiz possibly. So you just 5x'd your stream, man.
You go.
Nice, guys.
That's
all right, we're gonna hold you to this.
Yeah, so me and Crypto Awesome will be on. So obviously the first 24-hour mint cycle of Awesome X starts at 2 p.m. UTC on Friday, and it ends at 2 p.m. UTC on Saturday. So we're planning to be on at the kind of close of the first mint cycle for Awesome X. Sweet. So that hopefully that'll be an exciting time on Saturday afternoon. It's again, Dave Crypto Awesome, he messaged me about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. Messaged 6 weeks ago, I have an idea of a project. I'd like to bounce some ideas off you. And we're launching a project together 6 weeks later. It's crazy. And I think he has, because he was doing his YouTube show. He didn't show his face. He was doing great coverage of the Titan X ecosystem. Yeah. But boy, he has stepped up to the plate. He has gone hard. Once he decided to build a project, I think he was just fat. I think he has an infectious personality and he is definitely a go-getter. Yeah. But once he decided to go for it, geez, he has been relentless. You have him on your show. Are you having a stream with him as well, Kindness, this week?
Yeah, I'm having him on Thursday. Love that guy's energy, just like so positive, so good. I think he jives good with Kindness, so it's it's good. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah. I tell you, I've said this before, and I'd kind of like to hear y'all's feedback. But the single-handedly the best thing I did in crypto was start a YouTube channel. I mean, single-handedly, I wouldn't be in half of the crap I'm in if I hadn't done that. It's the quickest way to learn, because if you're just an anon on Twitter and you're like DMing people for questions, nobody responds. If you have a YouTube channel and you're like, hey, I'd like to interview you, a lot of people respond. And it's the easiest, it's the shortest distance between you and the information you need. So like, I encourage everybody, start a YouTube channel. You might suck. In fact, I'll tell you straight up, you'll suck, but eventually you'll get better. And, put some time into learning it and understanding how it works. And I mean, public speaking is an amazing skill to have, hands down. And you shorten your learning curve exponentially when you can just ask the people the questions. And what most people don't understand is 99% of what you will learn is in the 15 minutes green room after the stream. That's where the truth comes out.
Yeah, there's always a few nuggets. So I forgot you were there. Pat, I just heard you laughing in the background again.
He's laughing because he's like, yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, what do we try to achieve with this show? We obviously we wanted to try and help at the time. I think, like I say, we've been maybe had 30 odd shows now, maybe yeah, maybe 25 weeks, something like that. We just wanted to try and create something central within the ecosystem that just comes on and talks every week about everything that's going on. And it's funny, we did bring on a lot of guests from outside, and we tried to cover a lot of stuff that was happening outside the Titan X ecosystem at the start. And then it just got far too cool being here. That the whole show is about Titan. We just, there's no point in trying to fight the market. All the alphas within the Titan X ecosystem. So, but I think for us, it's worked very well. We had loads and loads of awesome guests on. It gets us out there. People want to talk to us. They want to engage with us. They want to, come on, ask questions. So yeah, absolutely. It was a slow start. But it's definitely been very, very productive for the whole team, and I do think as well for the whole community as well.
I think a lot of the people that we had on, Ali, when we were first doing the weekly Blaze, they're deep into Titan X now, and didn't care, probably didn't. We were honored to have them on as guests, and now they're streaming about Titan X, and they're involved in Titan X, and they're giving giveaways about Titan X, and so yeah, it was super cool. It's been really fun to just like you said, kindness, to have a show and then do it, and you don't always want to do it, but I always really enjoy it when we come on and it's part of the day, just to have this reality of seeing everybody's face and not just in a Telegram or on a Twitter, that we're all real people with all real souls, and we all want everybody to succeed, hopefully, and that's part of our unity and DeFi thing too, that we're trying to, I think it's a positive move forward, so
100%.
Yeah.
And keep doing this, because if y'all remember back when Hex was pumping at the end of the last bull market, there was all sorts of community streams, and they would get 500,000 people on them. So you're just on the front end of it. The audience will come. And by then, y'all will be a lot more comfortable on camera and doing all this type of stuff. You'll have, microphones that work and the craziest things. And, the people will come. And that's when it gets really fun, because then you start getting, all sorts of stuff happening in the comments. And then you can invite bigger players. Like, kind of one of the way I built my channel is I always invited people that had 2 to 3 to 4 times bigger of an audience than me. Not so big that they would probably say no, but big enough that you can leverage up your channel very quickly by simply having somebody on and having a good interview. And people be like, oh yeah, this, ask good questions or whatever have you. So keep it up, guys. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of people in there in the comments now talking about getting bullish. Here's a bit of a bold statement. So who was it? Somebody has said a couple of times, I can't think who it is, that the Titan X white paper, it's crypto awesome. That's who it is. Heard him saying that the Titan X white paper is as important as the Bitcoin white paper was. What's your take on that? I know that's a bold statement. What's your take on that? And can Titan X kind of become one of the blue chips, like, dare I say the word Solana or Ethereum? Can we get up to that level? Is what we've got built that good? Anybody want to answer that?
And the answer is very simple. Of course, anything is possible. It just takes the right combination of people, right combination of energy, the right combination of luck, right place, right time, right streamer. Imagine a situation where, unfortunately, some horrible things are happening in the world today, and we're seeing pullbacks in a lot of markets. But Titan X is going to beat to its own drum at this point. The wheels are in motion. We're going hyper deflationary. There's millions and millions and millions of dollars in buy and burns. I can imagine a situation where it's the only thing that's pumping, and it's high up on the Ethereum list, top 5, top 10 or something like this. And people chase green candles. And if it's a leader and it's ripping when everything else is not, imagine what it's going to do when everything else starts to. So, I can imagine a scenario in which it is. And of course, there's always a plausible scenario in which it isn't. But the short answer is, of course it can.
Jeff, would you consider things that have like a TVL of 5 million a blue chip? Technically,
No.
Okay, I was just wondering that because I'm in a class, and one of the things we're in liquidity providing that I'm taking, and we look at some of the things with TVLs, and that's one of the things that he talks about, just for maybe it's just for liquidity providing, right? So I just wanted to get your perspective.
That's my opinion, and it's
yeah, exactly. That's how
I could be dead wrong.
Yeah,
but
I wanted to know what you thought about that.
I mean, blue chips. A blue chip is basically something that's not nearly as volatile. And 5 million TVL is going to be relatively volatile. It doesn't take much to move that up or down. So, I mean, in the world of crypto, a blue chip is still highly volatile. I mean, look at.
Maybe I should say a pool. I guess I'm referring to like a pool with a TVL of 5 million, perhaps, instead of
a pool of. Okay,
yeah.
So you're talking about a liquidity pool.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, exactly.
Very different question.
Yeah, sure.
So depends. Like. This is one of the many things that I've learned, that you just have to ask more questions. What is the TVL in? Is it in the asset that has value, WETH, or is it in the asset which is the meme coin? If 90% of your liquidity is in the meme coin, it isn't worth a damn thing. But take, for instance, TitanX. At least 50% of the liquidity, if not more, is locked in the actual value asset, quote unquote, which is ETH. So you just need to ask more questions surrounding that data point. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine a scenario where a $5 million liquidity pool is a blue chip. I mean, I don't know what the LP on Shiba Inu is or something like that, but it's never nearly as big as the freaking market cap. So
yeah, and that's what they're kind of steering towards TitanX with like what's locked up in the protocol and the buy and burns with that. But yeah, it's more referred to the LP pools itself. So cool.
I actually want to nip in there. Okay, Steve, what's your thoughts on the LP stuff in regards to, you done something kind of funky with Volt? Do you want to tell us what you did with Volt to grow the liquidity pool, to get a nice thick liquidity pool?
Yeah, with Volt, it was
yeah.
I thought I did something wrong.
Yeah, it's. I look at liquidity. I'm very interested in liquidity, and I want to build liquidity. And Volt is all about building liquidity. I've been saying it for weeks. Volt is building liquidity, and I want to build liquidity with a lot of the deflationary assets, especially the deflationary assets in TitanX. So what's that? DragonX, Inferno, the others that are, so it's the Volt and the Volt wheel. It's yin and yang. And the Volt wheel has innovation. Like Volt has innovation that is going to blow people's minds away. Just as the auction, you're going to people are going to see the Volt wheel and go, wow, that's innovation like the Volt. But so what about liquidity? Yeah, Volt is growing liquidity. The liquidity pool is really big because the whole aim of Volt is to keep the liquidity growing and being bonded. And today it has a liquidity pool not everyone knows, but with DragonX. So DragonX has started today, and it's just going to keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. That's Volt. It's a growing liquidity. Yeah.
So Pat, Irish Crypto, on the whole, can TitanX get as big? Can we get up to those, top 20 places and the glorious coin market cap? What do you think the future has in store? How bullish are you?
I'm probably 8 or a 9 out of 10. You've heard me talk about this quite a few times, Ali. I think TitanX has a real chance of being the ecosystem of this bull run. For me, a blue chip is something that's stood the test of time over at least 2, if not 3 bull runs, and gone through at least 1 or 2 bear markets. So if we look at where we are now, what a start, right? The amount of building that's going on is something that I never foresaw. The amount of adoption that's starting to happen with TitanX is something that I never foresaw. The things that are going on in this sort of organic grassroots crypto movement is stuff that I think, if it's not, if we don't fuck it up, because we're the kind of bastions of it, I think it could really fly. So if you look at what's going in its favor, the fair crypto, I've got kind of a love-hate relationship with, but it is fair participation. It's fairer than other ecosystems. you've got Jake, who's actively involved, and you've got builders working together, and it's a meritocracy, right? Which I love, but it's a fair meritocracy. Even down to like some of the rules that we have around if you're going to build on Titan X, there's certain things that you need to adhere to for the community to accept and adopt. So I'm looking at what's going on at the moment, and I'm seeing that Dragon X is like the spear, right? It's charging on to 100 million market cap, starting to turn eyes, starting to bring in other adoption into the market. And then you've got other things like the MemeFi sector, which is burgeoning within Titan X, that again could bring in some unbelievable retail into the ecosystem. So it's had a great start. It's organic. And I do believe if it continues the way it is in terms of level of builders, level of marketing, how tight the community is, the builders working together, I think it's got a really good chance of being the darling of this bull run. And one of the things and the last thing I'll say, and I'll just ask you a question, Jeff, but the thing that really piqued my interest yesterday was the talk between you and Jake around, could it be the new Ethereum? So it'd be good to get your thoughts on that, because that did pique my interest, which played into that sort of phase, 6, 7, 8 that was signposted by Jake.
Can I answer that question after I give some details?
You go.
Okay, so I want to address the two questions that were just asked. Rainman says, can a 5 million TVL pooled liquidity pool be a blue chip? And then Ali asks, can Titan X? Well, I can't remember the specific question, but you were just like, can Titan X be like the winner of this bull market or something like that? So I want to share some information with you. Looking at Dex Screener, Shiba Inu's current liquidity pool first of all, market cap is 9 billion. Pooled WETH 3.2 million, pooled SHIB 3.2 million. So a 50-50 split on the liquidity pair. Now this is just a lot of other liquidity pairs out there, but this is for sake of example. And I would consider that like a blue chip. That very well established, been around this is its second big cycle, hit 40 billion market cap last time, sitting at a 9 billion, but it only has 6 million holding up in liquidity. Now, let's look at Titan X. Titan X is sitting at like 67 million market cap, but it has 2 million in liquidity. So liquidity to market cap ratio is favorable to Titan X. Titan X's ETH liquidity is 1 million in ETH, which is the quote unquote asset of value, and 977,000 in Titan X. So it basically only needs to 3x its current liquidity pool to match that of Shiba Inu, which is a $9 billion market cap. So can it get there? Abso-freaking-lutely it can get there, without a doubt. How does it get there? Well, we're already seeing the behaviors out of Jake that we saw out of Richard Hart. Streaming a lot, highly supportive of the ecosystem of the people in it, promoting those that are promoting Titan X. He's talking a lot about security and keeping people from getting wrecked and understanding liquidity and all this type of stuff. I mean, he's kind of taking a card out of Richard Hart's playbook. And we saw that with Hex, when there's a very vocal, well-versed, knowledgeable founder that is active, you can get that type of adoption that's happening. So, I mean, all of the pieces are there that it absolutely can perform in a ridiculous type of manner. And time will tell. But I don't think you're bullish enough, and there's definitely not enough Titan X.
that was a great example, Jeff. Well played. Nice one. I like it.
And then Irish, your question about, can Titan X be the next ETH? I think Titan X can be the next Hex. I mean, ETH is a layer 1, so it behaves obviously different. Just, transaction fees, burn it, and, gas going up and going down, that type of thing. But, there hasn't, it's very seldom that there is a protocol that's built on an L1 that outperforms the L1. And Hex actually did. If you measure it from the very bottom, you have to, quantify how you get to that. statement, but if we measure Titan X from the very bottom to the top this cycle, could it 10,000x? Could it outperform Hex? Yes, I believe that the all of the moving parts that need to happen for that to come to fruition are already in the works. They're already happening. Could it do a 14,000x like Ethereum did? I don't know. I hate doing these big numbers.
Yeah,
I'll just say all of the ingredients are there. They're present. If you put all of the right ingredients into some cookies, you're going to have some pretty good cookies. But also sometimes if you put the ingredients in at the wrong times, you get some pretty fucked up cookies. So just because the ingredients are there doesn't mean it's going to work. But the ingredients are there to repeat a Hex-like run. I will say that.
On that too, though, does Dragon X have more fundamentals built in than Titan X?
Doesn't matter. Because if Dragon X does a 10,000x, it's gonna pull Titan X by the hair all the way up with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's that's it. So it doesn't matter. I don't care which one does a 10,000x, to be perfectly honest with you, because the way the liquidity pools work and all that type of stuff, one goes with the other.
Yeah, it's funny. There was a stream about, I'm going to say maybe only 5 or 6 weeks ago, where Jake for the first time mentioned that it would be good to see something within the ecosystem surpass Titan X in market cap. And after he said that, within a week, Dragon X went on a absolute tear, and it hasn't really slowed down too much. But it was just funny because nobody been talking about it. Nobody mentioned it, really. Nobody been keeping too much of an eye on it. And then after the kind of narrative was thrown out, that everybody kind of the community kind of started rallying, going, holy crap, there's something happening here. And within a week, it surpassed it. It did pull back, but it's just interesting that how fast this whole ecosystem is moving. That people weren't even talking about that 6 weeks ago. Maybe it's a little bit longer, but I'm just reiterating the point that we don't even know what's going to come next. The way something can just, we can start talking about one thing, and a few weeks later, it's just gone absolutely insane.
Yeah. Irish, you know a lot about liquidity, according to...
Couldn't be further from the truth. I've only just started learning.
Yeah, exactly. Utah is just totally singing your praises about liquidity in the chat here. But let's pretend that he's right. Let's, based on your knowledge of these liquidity pools, what do you see potential price action and where this ecosystem could go?
Ooh. It's quite nice sometimes to be asked this kind of question, because as a co-founder, you can't really talk about price predictions and stuff. But
of course,
I don't know. I think it's possible. I'd be happy with a home run, man. I'd be happy with 100x with Titan X. I'd be happy with 100x. If Titan X does 100x, that's the main goal. Now, if it can do 1,000, if it could kick on and do 10,000, could it do it in this bull run? I don't know. Not so sure. Yeah, what do you think, Steve?
Yeah, we're talking about the price of Titan X.
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Doesn't matter. Steve always sells on a 2x anyway.
Well, Solana, yeah. But yeah, the price of Titan X, I think it's just getting started, because we're only 3x from the bottom. There's so much value coming in, and all the protocols providing that value. They're burning Titan X, but the utility they provide for the use case, like a US dollar has loads of utility, because you buy bread with it. If you couldn't buy anything with it, it'd be useless. Titan X, we can play games. There's different things. There's utilities coming. There's farms. There's dexes. There's lendings. I think it's phenomenal what it could do. And when it hits deflation, I'm just going to be blown up. I'm just watching, from the top of a mountain. I just want to see what's going to happen. Because like Jake's comment before, people don't understand hyperdeflation. And I don't think we understand what might hit Titan X when it really gets into the hyperdeflation phase.
Yeah.
which is weeks away.
Weeks.
Yeah,
Weeks.
like I was saying before, when you see what's happened in the space of the last, the last 8 weeks, where could it end up in another 8 weeks? Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting here super bullish, and Titan X is only a 3x off the bottom. Like, you'd think we won the lottery. Dragon X is 100x off. The one thing I do like, you know how Eric keeps posting the chart of the future, the 10x, 10x, 10x of Dragon X. Very much reminds me of when Richard Hart used to do the magic blue line trend. Like, what if it just followed this magic blue line? That's just synchronicities that I'm looking at. Like, I wonder if this is the world repeating itself in a different manifestation.
I mean,
I like it a lot.
It feels okay. So I only got into crypto in 2021, and I missed a lot of that, as did a lot of people that were in the mastermind together. There was a lot of people in before that, but there was a lot at this, getting the same time as me, and we missed a lot. But when you come in at that stage and you've seen all the things going on in Hex, you've seen all the streamers, you've seen the community, in Euphoria, and just everybody putting in a hell of a lot of effort. It does feel to me like we're at the start of something very, very similar. And for me, there's a lot more to it, and a lot more, there's a lot more scope with obviously the different coins, the ecosystem. But it just feels like we're in that kind of scenario right now. And Jeff, do you think that the community is the thing that can make this happen, or is it tokenomics? Is it community? Where's the real strength that's happening here?
It's all of the above. Like, if you have a great product but you don't have anybody marketing it, it doesn't matter. I watch a lot of Grant Cardone stuff, and he always says it's not the best product that wins, it's the most known product that wins. What if you have the best, most known product? That's like winning on steroids. So one of the things that we all need to do, and Jake talks about it, which is just the rule of 100. Eric's been talking about it a lot now. You guys need to talk about it. Anybody with any sort of platform needs to talk about it. Every time you post something about a stream, anytime you repost a stream, just like, hey guys, rule of 100. If you're looking at this, comment, retweet, and like. And if everybody participates in the rule of 100, then we're going to have so much noise. It's going to be hard to ignore. And then when you couple that noise with green candles, you can't help but get people's attention. They're like, oh, whoa, what's happening here? Like, this is up 100x, and there's 10,000 people talking about it on Twitter, and all of these streams get this many likes. And it's a secondary flywheel that needs to happen. So, we need to be the most known in order for that to happen. And so community is the value of the ecosystem at first. And then once the ecosystem proves itself, it just validates what the community has been talking about. And then you just get this never-ending loop. Validation, community talks. People listen to the community because the coin is validating it, which then the community talks. And then, so it's not one or the other. It's one plus the other.
Yeah, the community, like CryptoConis was saying, I guess the 26th and 27th is the Titan X anniversary coming up. Mm-hmm. Is that right? And so we're hosting a 2-day stream. Mike Dean and Bad Sports have been putting it together. 50 people, streamers already coming on. We're shooting for 88, I guess. So that's huge too, to get the information out there. Just want to throw that in there.
That will, yeah. I mean, but I didn't mention that in today's stream. That will be a massive event. 2 days, 2-day stream. I don't know whether it's going to be 48 hours straight, but it's hopefully we get enough guests on. Just by the fact that, and another thing that helps a lot is you were streaming this out to your audience. Whenever that's on, it's just going to be a constant barrage on Twitter of people on stream talking about Titan X over and over and over again. And it's going to be hopefully a massive boost to the ecosystem. Are you in that list, Jeff, at the minute?
I am in that list. And if Joe Perry's isn't already in the list, I'm happy to reach out to him. I still stay in touch with that guy. It would be wise, whoever is building this stream, reach out to bigger players. Like get Trevon on here. I know he can be a kind of polarizing character in these ecosystems, but he's got a following and people listen to him. And he's talked about Titan X before. I mean, get Jack Levin on here. Just get names. Having somebody come on and badmouth it for 10 minutes that has a 400,000 following is wonderful publicity. And so don't just stick with our community, reach out, throw a very broad net because you never know how big of a fish you're going to catch. And there could be somebody sitting on the sidelines that's like, man, I'm interested in this, man, I'm interested in this, and bring them on. Just say, hey, I get it. You're not in it. You've got a big channel. What if I schedule you some time to sit next to Jake during this stream and just ask him anything you want?
That's great. That's great advice. A few of those names, I know that there's a few of those names people have been nibbling at, and we're kind of just like yourself, Jeff. We're starting to get a few bites.
Yeah, exactly. It's all it takes is you got to fish, got to throw a lot of worms to catch a couple big fish, and like reach out to Crypto Coffee. This dude is pulse chain hex galore, but you just never know who's going to say yes. It's the two most important rules in sales. Number one, no doesn't hurt. Number two, it's a numbers game. Get the numbers out there.
Yeah, Crypto Coffee, I like him, man. Always have.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah, man. That's really good advice, Jeff, about that Titan X conference.
And one last thing on that, if I may, consider reaching out to some whales in the ecosystem, consider pooling some funds, but run some Twitter ads, run some Facebook or YouTube ads for this. Like you got to dominate the attention. Like this is a crypto bull market and everybody's vying for attention and you got to dominate that attention. Jake knows how to do this crap. He's a marketing genius. I'm not spitting any new information, but yeah, he just says in the chat, like you'd be surprised who's a closeted Titan X member. Like there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there really is a lot. There's a lot, especially over in Pulse Chain too, a hell of a lot that just don't want to come out and publicly say it. So I see a lot of chat there in the comments, lots of people asking what the hell Alien X is, because there has been no alpha dropped yet on what, not even a mention of what it is, and it's going to stay that way, I'm afraid. I don't know anything.
Good. You don't know anything, right? I love it.
So Jeff, see you need to bounce off here shortly. Is there anything you want to mention before you disappear off, or anything in particular you want to cover before you're leaving?
Yes. I want to encourage people to take the utmost care of your bags moving forward. If you have made it this far without clicking on a bad link, without connecting your wallet to something that's a drainer, without getting hacked, without getting socially engineered, you are winning. Don't fumble your bag. One of the biggest challenges that I could see happening is as the Titan X community grows and as green candles get printed, people get sloppy. And there will be at some point somebody that comes in is like, oh, I'm launching this great thing. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's going to be a scam. I mean, we saw it with, what was it? Hex Latina in the Pulse Chain ecosystem. The pretty girl, pretty face, accent comes in. Oh, I'm launching this coin. And she nuked people for, I don't know how much, but it was some absurd amount of money. Once we've done well enough with the Titan X ecosystem, that stuff will happen. So encouragement to have a dedicated crypto computer, encouragement to have a Trezor or a Ledger with a passphrase protected wallet that never touches anything. Encouragement to, if you're going to participate in a new protocol, you do it with a new, fresh address that you only send, Titan X and ETH to, and there's nothing else sitting in that. Now is not the time to get loosey-goosey, and now is not the time to let FOMO wreck you. A crypto computer might cost you $400. If you click on the wrong link, it could cost you $4 million. I don't want to hear about, I can't afford a computer. Mike Dean has done an amazing job of helping people recover his funds and talk about security. But at this point in the game, all of us that have a platform that are streaming, it just needs to be a public service announcement on every stream, because we don't want to see our friends get wrecked. And it's going to happen, period. It's just a matter of time. Don't let it be you.
Yeah, that's a great point. I remember, and I feel very lucky that whenever I get into crypto, that whenever the Pulse Chain sacrifice was on, in that Telegram group, there was like a 24/7 voice chat, but it wasn't just anybody that was allowed to come in and talk. They kind of had moderators in there that just, had conversations between themselves. But I remember Papa Boner being on constantly every day talking about security. So I was able to, even before I started really getting into crypto properly, one of the first things I learned was security, getting your hardware wallet set up properly, getting a separate computer, storing your seed phrases in metal, all that kind of stuff. And I feel very lucky that I learned all that stuff at the very, very start. So yeah, great thing to bring up. Plan A and Mike Dean do a great job every Sunday. Now they bring up the security pretty much every week, just for anybody new that's listening to, just to get these thoughts into their mind. I mean, nothing worse than there has been a lot already, there's a lot of scams in the ecosystem already, but it's going to get really, really bad. So great point, Jeff. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. And if you're not using Rabby Wallet, you're doing it wrong. That's just my opinion, before, but Rabby it keeps you from being dumb. I went to do a swap on Uniswap the other day, and it brought up a red flag, and it said, hey, the receiving wallet is not the same as the sending wallet on this. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to hit send, even though it was a token I'd bought before. It was the right contract. I did all of my due diligence, but it just saw something I didn't see. And I was like, done, disconnect, out of here. You can whitelist your addresses. It gives you the option to, anytime you connect to a site, you can, check it as a trusted site. And that way, if you go to connect to some site, again, that you think is the right one, but it's the wrong one, it'll say, hey, look, you've never been here. And it always makes you acknowledge the warning before you're even allowed to go farther. So if you have to say, yes, I want to be on this page. And it's just, man, you just got to do this stuff. It's not the time to be monkeying around.
Ignore all. That's what I'm tapping all the time. Ignore all.
Ignore all. Exactly. But if you know where you are, that's fine. But you should absolutely be marking different sites as trusted, and you should be whitelisting your addresses, and you should be whitelisting Coinbase, and you should be those are things that you're just going to save yourself in the future. Because everybody's had the situation where they've had one too many drinks, or they're having a little bit of fun on a Friday night, and they're like, oh shit, this price is down, I'm going to go buy it right now. And that's when you screw up.
It's true.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't spend too much time getting your security up. If anybody is in the chat, that Jeff's mentioned a lot of things there, like Rabby, Colt Wallet, secret seed phrase, 25th words, all this kind of stuff. If anybody in the chat is unsure about any of these things, feel free to drop me a message on my channel, and I'll answer a few DMs on some of the security stuff if any of these phrases don't mean anything to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, thank you for the invite. I got to go be a good dad, but it's been an absolute blast. Irish, thank you for your persistence. I will do this again. And we'll have a lot of fun. Just get out there, rule of 100, make it happen. The best known product is the one that wins, and that's the game that we can all crush.
Awesome, man. Listen, yeah, and just from all of our team, I'd like to say thanks for coming on. Irish was reaching out to you for a long time. Looking back over maybe 2-3 years ago, I've pretty much watched every time you've done a stream. I watched all the streams. You always brought in a lot of alpha, a lot of great interviews. So pleasure to have you back and have you on our channel, and we'll chat again soon. Anything you want to say there, Irish?
No, not at all, apart from Persistent pays off. Jack Levin's getting the same treatment at the moment, and he's opening up his diary. I'm hoping to fish him onto the weekly bays. But yeah, similar to what Ali said, Jeff, you're an absolute legend. It's great to have you back, and let's make sure we all make it during this bull run.
Thank you, guys. Very much appreciated. I'm going to sign off, but y'all have a wonderful day.
All right,
Thanks,
Jeff.
Jeff.
See ya.
Let's see. Somebody mentioned something there. What's going on in the chat?
Hey, Ali, just one thing about that security too. Me and Justin did Unity in DeFi just last Saturday. Mike Dean came on, and as a lot of know, he saved wallets that's got hacked in Titan X and saved their miners. But he was sharing what these wallets all had in common, what best security practices, wallets, just tons of security advice. We had a massive talk for about an hour with him about it. So it'd be a good one to catch up on for security. Unity and DeFi last Saturday. I'll drop the link.
And there's a Telegram for the first anniversary stream, and we'll put that in the Blaze socials as well for everybody if they want to join up in that Telegram.
Is there a Telegram group for the first anniversary stream? Is that for speakers or is that for everybody?
Bad Sports posted it a moment ago in our Telegram stream thing. So, but if I put that link, I guess I can put that link in the chat right now. But I don't know if people can click on it. But that's what it is, folks. Because let's see if it auto populates in here for everybody and says what it actually is. Okay, guys. So that is the first anniversary stream Telegram link right there. All right, I'll put it up on the screen, and maybe we can rename it later. But yeah, there you go. Okay.
See the
that.
Jeff had some great ideas there about obviously reaching out to bigger names to get them on the stream. I see somebody in the chat there saying bring in Crypto Banter. It costs about 25 grand just to talk to Crypto Man Ram for 10 minutes. All pay to play.
You got it. Sell some Pulsar.
Yeah. So okay, controversial discussion. What the fuck happened with Pulsar launching today? No strings, no announcements, no nothing. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just surprised that there was no talk, and I haven't seen too much participation. Anybody, any opinions or takes on what's going on with Pulsar?
I went to the website and it was a 301 blank page. It wasn't working.
That was first thing. It did. The LP launched maybe about 24 hours ago. I don't even know how it came into existence to start off, but there was a liquidity pool and the website that you couldn't mint for quite a few hours. There wasn't any crazy, distribution of tokens or anything like that. There wasn't even that much participation in people buying on the market. But yeah, it was quite a few hours before the actual mint page went live. I'm just surprised to see no streaming, no talk, and still no real activity.
Yeah, they didn't announce it or go on the spaces to say they're going to launch or anything with the whole fair launch ethos. It probably would have served them better, I think, to say that they were launching so people would have been ready to participate.
This is I'm not going to put the link in. Is it pulsar.giffordware.win? Because I went to their Telegram, and I still get the can't access the website.
Somebody else in the comments there saying that it's the DApp is down still. So maybe they pulled it down. Anyway, I'm just surprised that it just seems strange to me that that it launched and there's just there was no community engagement, there was no hype. It just kind of launched and and still nothing. Yeah. I minted an ARBs twice today. So I did. But I think I was probably the only person to mint it today and make any profit.
Go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
Did it pay off?
I mean, I got a few $100. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I was watching it closely, and I think there was I think I was the only person that actually minted some today and sold for a profit.
Fair play.
Yeah. But I was just surprised there was so little activity. Yeah, so little activity. There was mints going through because I had to even check on Etherscan to see what was going on. It wasn't like like all these Titan X launches at the minute. You go on to Etherscan, it's like bump, 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 mint, 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 claim, 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 and it was like 5 minutes gone, a mint. 10 minutes gone, another mint. But even people selling into the liquidity pool, there was really nothing happening. It was like 20 minutes between transactions in the liquidity pool. I just found it very strange.
So it was pulled off Titan X Hub. Is that Mello saying that right now? So that's interesting. Yeah.
Ooh,
fair launch ethos, guys. That's pretty important. They've been spaces
really? Is that, I get you. It was still on Titan X Hub, and it was pulled off because of because it wasn't announced. It was stealth launch. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this is an important discussion topic, and that the guys have been bringing up on the Sunday Spaces. Just around, how do you keep the standard? How do you keep the standard up whenever there's going to be a lot of people come in? All right, we spoke to Rags, the Riches, and there's Pulse Chain people starting to build projects and come over, and I think they're trying to do things right, but they're not necessarily following the letter to the law that's been laid down so far, turning up the weekly spaces, putting out your audits, all this kind of stuff before you launch, giving everybody a fair launch and giving everybody a lot of warning. Do you think that we'll see a lot come in that will try to just not adhere to the kind of principles that have been set out? And do you think they'll get any adoption?
I don't think they'll get any adoption, hardly. Basically, I mean, you just got pulled off the Titan X Hub, and there's no gatekeepers, but I think that there's been an ethos that's been established every single Sunday since Titan X launched about trying to be as fair as possible, right? We all listen to Mike Dean and Plan A and the rest of the community speak their voices on how important that is. So yeah, I think you can try it, but it might not work out too well for you if once you build something for so long. And why not have a fair launch, right? Why not engage on Plan A in the spaces, and why not get the most participation possible? What are the reasons for that, right? That's the other question to ask. So I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts?
Go ahead, Pat.
I was going to say, I think it's our secret sauce, the strength and foundation of how tight the community is and the builders, and that if someone comes in and it smells like a scam, or they're not adhering to the majority of the principles, then it's a meritocracy, right? Users are very in tuned, and investors are very in tuned in the Titan X ecosystems. They just won't participate. So I think there'll be, I think a meritocracy will shine through. I think there'll be self-selection of protocols coming in. I mean, it's inevitable there's going to be scams. It's inevitable there's going to be people that are going to look at it and go, I want a bigger Genesis, or I only want to pay for one audit. And then unfortunately, there's going to be things that are going to happen that are not in tune with what we're used to today. So we just got to make sure that we continue to hold up the standards, because I think it's our secret sauce.
Agreed. Steve, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Unity is sometimes within, because there's always issues in a community, but unity becomes from you being unified and you giving out the love. So, you know what I mean? It's true. That is true, because a community, like look at Hex, it had all this fraction in a red in the bear, but unity is within what you can bring. So it's an individual thing, and if everyone does that, the community can be very strong.
Yeah, it's been nothing but fun and excitement so far. Yeah, it's going to continue. It's certainly going to continue for a hell of a lot longer the way it's going. We do have a absolutely wonderful foundation built at the minute, with builders and setting all these standards. I was just Aviator X, they launched as well. Again, I didn't even know they launched. It was just how did I even come across it? I think I seen a Twitter post. Yeah, I think I seen a Twitter post of just the user stats, and somebody had a 50x. They had their first user had a 50x playing the game. So they stepped up, and the day announced it on the spaces. I missed the start of the spaces on Sunday. Were they on, Rain Man?
I didn't hear the very beginning either. I got on like 5 or 10 minutes after. Steve, were they on there? Did they announce it?
I do not recall them being on. They might have been. They might have been. I just don't remember.
The guy's South African, isn't he? He definitely was on the Spaces about 4 weeks ago.
He was on every week for well, let's say a long time. He was on every week for a few weeks. But again, I'm surprised that there was no, I don't know, I didn't see any Twitter posts. I didn't see any, streams.
Yeah.
Okay, projects need constant market. You need to be shouting from the rooftops. We're on, last night, 2 streams last night talking about Awesome X. Dave's on streams all week talking about Awesome X. We're going again every day streaming. We're on Saturday whenever the mint's happening, bumping out Twitter posts 24/7. It's like to go to the effort of building a project and not be screaming about it. It's like, it's kind of half-assed,
Yeah, it's almost a Titan. It's a Titan X ethos to not have the stealth launch, but to be engaging, to be communicating, to be informing. It's part of the ethos. Because the fairest launch you can get is not to have a stealth launch. It immediately takes fairness out of a launch, because founders have and insiders have an advantage. So. Yeah.
Fair launch is the hill we live and die on. If you think about it like this as well, if you look at the, blow our own trumpets a little bit here as well, but if you look at the builders that we do have in the ecosystem, they are not just building projects; they're doing everything they can to help the ecosystem. Not even just with throwing a little bit of band burn here and a little bit of band burn there, but you look at you guys are here all the time streaming. Eric's out busting his balls, Jake's out busting his balls. The dude turns up to the streams every week. He's constantly on streams, engaging, talking. The same with James from Baby Dragon X. All the core kind of builders are all working their asses off for everybody else's bags, never mind their own. And I think that's important. That's why I'm so surprised to see anybody coming in, launching now, and not engaging with everybody, because everybody's so friendly and welcoming and wants to talk and wants to learn. So to not take advantage of that and help yourself, help everybody else is kind of crazy.
They're devs too, I believe. Right, I think Pat, you were on there listening to that when they first announced that they were building a GameFi type thing, and they were blockchain devs, Aviator X and whatnot, right?
Sorry, I missed what you said there, Justin.
Nah, go ahead, Dennis. That's no big deal. Go ahead, man. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, not at all. You asked a question. I just didn't hear it.
Well, yeah, you said you were on the space, on Plan A space when Aviator X. I was on there. I don't know if you, Steve. Yeah, when they announced that they were building a GameFi type issue or something, but whatever. They were blockchain devs.
I knew nothing about Aviator X apart from when I've heard him speak. He sounded very competent. I think the thing, though, I'll go back to 2 things that have been mentioned in this stream. The first one is, attention, right? Attention's the new product. So yeah, it's hard to build. Yeah, it's hard to launch, but the real work really starts once it's launched. So, the other thing that was mentioned, which is the second thing, which is meritocracy. So you've got to work for your protocol. You've got to market, you've got to hustle, you've got to show up, you've got to build relationships. And, it's not just for the first week or the first 2 weeks, it's a multi-week, multi-month, multi-year campaign. So I think this meritocracy and this protocols that are coming through, we'll see that in the weeks and months coming through, who's really going to stick to it and work it, and who's going to just let the protocol sort of fly,
Yeah, see, and by the way, I'm not attacking Pulsar in any way, shape, or form. There was definitely no, there was no dodginess or anything to the launch at all. To say, just Kool-Aid and GIF were on streams months and months ago, and they're not, just to say, I'm just very surprised that they weren't out kind of letting everybody know what was coming, because everybody was excited about it a while ago. Yeah, all good. Yeah, you're right. Brad Sports is right. Not everything needs a lot of hype. It's a bridge to Pulse Chain, so it doesn't need hype. It's a tool. If I had a tool, I would be shouting about it. That's just me. That's just me, though.
So that Telegram for the anniversary stream is private for people that are going to be streaming, apparently. So don't worry about joining, everybody. It's just for the people that are coming on to help keep organized. Just so you know. So what's up,
Steve,
Mo?
Yeah, Steve, what is the Volt wheel? Is there anything happening there?
My mouth is sealed. I've been itching to say it, but we're in the mint phase. So, maybe if Jake wanted to know, I'd let him, but I'll press this live stream. I'll press a live conversation with Jake.
Jake was he was in the comments saying talk about the wheel.
He's found it on now.
It's kind of funny that he's in the comments asking about the wheel, asking about Alien X. He did say that he put a post out that he watches all the streams as much as he can.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely true to say that from what he's saying in the comments that he absolutely is paying attention to everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's a massive encouragement. Jake is such an encouragement to the builders, the community members, everyone. I mean, when he likes your post on Twitter, you're like, yeah, Jake liked the post. You're like, why? You know what I mean? When you see on Twitter. Yeah, man.
Cool.
So I hope you've got your tight necks ready for Awesome X coming on Friday. I'm actually really excited about that. Dave, Crypto Awesome, that was because he loved Inferno and the mint cycles. He loved it so much that he wanted to build something else that had mint cycles every week, just so that he could continue on for himself, having something that he could participate and enjoy in on a weekly basis. But it's going to be interesting to see that we were running through the test net today of 125 weeks, just because it goes down 2.8%. Your ratio to Titan goes down 2.8% every week. And 2.8% doesn't seem like a lot. And it's kind of like, like the Titan X supply. You see these graphs where they kind of drop off and, you see the supply eating away. But 2% doesn't sound like a lot. But see, when we've seen it today play out in 2 hours, that the decline is so rapid. Those small chunks add up to nothing. Another thing, with Awesome X that I'm really excited about is the launch pad. So there's an allocation built in from all the Titan X that comes in to fund new projects. So anybody from the community that likes Awesome X can come in and use the funds that go into that wallet to build their own protocol within the new Awesome X kind of sub ecosystem. And I'm excited to see that, because we've seen how a small allocation like 2% coming into a protocol can stack up. It's meaningless by itself, but you can see that it stacks up to become something that can be used to great advantage. And I think just not only just having that there, but being able to give the opportunity to community members to have an idea and be able to fund them to build their own project. It's something that hasn't been done within the ecosystem yet. It's just another new little innovation that Dave came up with. When he fired the white paper through to us, we'd never seen it before. And it was like, well, my first initial idea is, what the hell is he doing this for? But obviously, when you dig into it, you go, right, okay, this is really awesome. And he has a few sort of, in the white paper has a few stipulations. If you want to use those funds to build your own project, it does have to benefit Awesome X. But it's just going to be, for the first person that comes up with an idea, maybe has no funds, they maybe, have a couple of good ideas. They've got no funds to build their own project, and that pot will be able to be utilized for them to build their own project. I think it's an awesome addition to the Titan X ecosystem.
Great name as well.
Awesome X. Yeah, I know Dave always has his "You're Awesome" T-shirt on when he goes on streams.
Yeah. I think Dave is one of the most powerful tokenomic features in Awesome X, because he's a great person. He's fun. Amazing insight. Every stream I've had with him, I've learned something. I've had a fun time. So the best tokenomic in Awesome X is Dave.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there was a discussion going back. somebody suggested that he should change the name of Awesome X, and there was great reasons why. Okay, there really was great reasons why. But for me, Dave could not launch a coin and not call it Awesome X.
The moment I heard it, I was like, that sounds, I mean, just genius.
Yeah, he doesn't live too far away from me. We're going to get up together and have a beer sometime or something.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe start wrapping it up, lads. Anything you want to discuss before we come to a close? We're actually, on our 1 hour and 45 minutes already. Time flies on these streams.
Wow, it does. Thanks everybody for coming in.
Yeah, just finish off to say really enjoyed the stream. Obviously, GoatX white paper is coming very soon, so watch this space. Inferno 2.0. Really enjoying this process. I'm really enjoying working with Josh and Scott and yourself as well, Ali, on it. And it's been an amazing week with Flux. We're all really, really pleased with Flux. Onwards we go in the Titan X ecosystem. I think the story is only just starting to begin. So super bullish on where we're going.
Steve,
let me give a 20-second Flux.
Intermission.
Hey, one sec. Vault is, I'm really excited for it. I love seeing the burn take place right now, and that's what I check every few minutes, every hour at least, like the burn rate. Go to Vault, join us in the Telegram, vault.win. It's in the mint phase. On day 4, there's 10 days. It's limited supply, hyperdeflationary, perpetual auction system, massive buy and burn. Come, read the white paper, and hope to see you on your inside. So that's all. Vault.win. Check it out.
Okay, let me ask you. I know you're the founder or whatever, but is there any alpha that if you're looking at Volt, is there loads of ways to play it at the minute, or is it just kind of mint and get the supply you want, or and when you enter in the auctions, is there anything to kind of be aware of, or anything that you can? Is there any mistakes you can make? Is there anything you could do that could maybe give yourself a better chance of getting a return? Is there anything simple that you could tell people if they're looking into Volt of how to play it?
Great question. So with Volt, it's a brand new distribution model which has never been done before. With Titan X miners, we have a history when a protocol has that distribution, or if it's a mint cycle. This has never been done. It's not knowing how to play it. And someone gave me a call and gave a really interesting game theory of how he's playing it, but I better not share because that's what he wants to do, and I don't want to. I did say I wouldn't share it with anyone.
That's it. Tell the whole stream, and we'll all do it.
For me, it's just personal thing. I like to DCA in. I put a little bit every day. I'm like you, Ali. I DCA, and try and be consistent in that way. So it's a very simple protocol. Like I describe it as like a Lamborghini. Lamborghini is easy to drive. You get in and you press the button and you start steering. But the engine, you don't need to understand the engine to drive a Lamborghini, but it's nice to look under the hood and see what's going on. With Vault, it's an amazing innovation of tokenomics when you look at the engine, but you don't need to look at the engine to participate. You get in the Lamborghini, you get into the user interface, and it's just a very simple protocol. It's like there's like one button in the protocol. So yeah.
Mint and claim.
It's auction. Yeah, it's because there's 1 billion tokens distributed over 10 days, 10% supply a day. So it's extreme. The chart is fascinating to me because it's such a distribution chart. I entered a protocol last year that did a launch, and during the first 4 hours, they were dripping the tokens into the liquidity pool to launch it that way. And the chart looks similar. Their chart looks similar to Vault chart. but they were over 4 hours. This is over 10 days, and so it's a distribution. I'm fascinated how the chart has looked, because it just reminds me of that token I did in launch, because they you can put all the tokens in the liquidity pool, and the bot comes in, buys, and then extracting value, and it's dumping for days and days and days and days. We saw that with Blaze. It frustrated us. It frustrated me. It made me think. How can this never happen again? And with Vault, I made sure it didn't happen again with the Vault protocol. I started with a small liquidity pool. Everyone who entered the auction could dump on those bots, and the bots at the beginning, like Justin pointed out on the day, they were like fighting over each other. It's like it was kind of interesting to see that. I mean, I entered because I thought I'd try and buy. Before I did the Degen mode, and I put in a couple of $1,000s, and I got hardly any tokens. So, but I didn't mind, because I thought at least I was one of the first buys and protected everyone else. But yeah, eliminating the bots, Vault succeeded.
Yeah, it was good.
As in, protecting the user. So
screw the bots.
Yeah, so they can auction, and they're getting the supply every day. It's phenomenal to me. I am loving it. Yeah.
Pat must have had to go there, did he? What is that? I seen that comment. I don't even know what that word
I was
is.
going to ask you what that means. Is he in your neck of the woods?
Ouija?
It's a Ouija. Ouija board?
Somebody Google it there and put it in the chat what a Ouija is.
Oh,
a Ouija.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't even know what it is. A Ouija, maybe, buddy? I don't know. It's funny. Okay.
So, anything you want to say to close out there?
I just want to say, we're waiting for the last mint, or I'm waiting for the last mint of Steve's Vault. And on that day, we're going to release the Lotus white paper, which is obviously built on top of Vault, built on top of Titan X. And that'll just show some really cool tokenomics that we got going on in this thing. And super excited to show the website. We've been working on it so hard. It's really amazing. Oh gosh, it's like a little masterpiece. I love it. It's so cool. Now I think there's another website in crypto that looks like it, frankly, or anything. It's I'm excited.
Are you going hard on the design stuff for it? Are you?
Oh yeah, well, it's done. I mean, it's literally done. The whole site, everything's done. I mean, the whole front end's being integrated right now and going into testnet this week. And we're just polishing out. You know how it is, polishing out a few things. It's still very little things, but it should be good for people, hopefully, right? So, but right now the focus is on other stuff, so there's no need to saturate, right? We got Steve, we got AwesomeX, we got whatever else, and so.
Yeah. And Josh's website is absolutely amazing. The art that he's coming out with is blowing my mind.
Josh?
Sorry, what was that? Did I say Josh? Did I say Josh?
Yeah.
Justin. I mean Justin. Yeah. Justin's Lotus. Josh comes out with good art too with the bull. I got to say, he comes out with fantastic art. So, I'm talking about Justin's Lotus protocol. I is loving the art. It's really interesting stuff.
It's really fun. I really enjoy that because it's just what I, went to college, university for back in the day, and just did corporate advertising crap and just hated it so much. I just quit and started a construction company. I've had for 24 years since, and now I get to do it for fun. With Inferno, with Blaze, it's kind of fun. No one's going to tell you, oh, don't do that, or go back to the account executive and cram this down your, so you just it's just been really cool to just have like the autonomy, like, control that shit, right?
That's it. So. We're here to do whatever the fuck we want.
That's right. Damn it. DeFi.
Fuck the establishment.
Yeah. We'll be like banned next week.
Yeah, no, that's it. No.
Well, we got 420 viewers across all platforms, give or take. So thanks, everybody. We appreciate you.
Yeah, sweet. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Just before I close off as well, I'd just like to say, obviously, we're launching AwesomeX this Friday. An Inferno-style meme coin built on Dragon X with a shitload of pump and mantles, massive buy and burn. We're We've got a lot going on. We'll be streaming about it all week, so stay tuned. It's app.awesomex.win when it comes to the weekend. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to the first 24-hour mint cycle this weekend. Thanks very much to Crypto Kindness for coming on the show. It was great to have Jeff back on. We spent a lot of time talking. What's that say? Oh, where's the ham? Next, what does it have? Did they have? I've never done it before. Movember. Did they have that? Did they have that in other countries? Movember.
I think it's like in the UK.
Like a charity thing where everybody grows mustaches for November. So maybe I'll give that a rattle this year. I've never done it before. But yeah, it was good to have Crypto Kindness back on chat. We spent a lot of time talking to him in the mastermind on the weekly calls. Always loved Jeff's opinions. Always has a nice laid back approach to thinking about ways to do things in crypto. He never kind of goes full steam ahead. He's always kind of seems calm and collected. I think maybe under the surface, he would say that he isn't at all, but great asset to any community. So thanks very much, Jeff, for coming on. And great to see Jake as active as ever in the comments as well. So yeah, as always, an absolute mountain of things going on within the ecosystem. So yeah, keep it up with Flux, Volt, and Awesome X this weekend. And buy your Inferno tokens on the dip.
Steve, is there anything that you want to play before the gentlemen sing to us on the way out?
No, we're gonna have to do what do you call it? Like you have to give me like a hand signal or something. I'll go intermission.
There you go, buddy. That's your...
Just play the song. See you later, everyone.
Ladies.
I love you, buddy.
Innovative.